Hi guys, good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Good.
Good morning. Doing well yourself?
Good, thank you. Hey, so I wanted to just catch up with you guys and see about what we're going to be doing for the sharing of our data this Thursday. So I love Yumi's idea around starting with making sure we go back to the action plan. I think that's going to be useful. And I like the really just putting it out there explicitly what the U4, remembering what U4 looks like with that concrete, this is what we've done in support of U4. I think it'll be good for the whole staff to really see all the pieces. Thank you, Yumi, for all the links. And then the U6 again with those concrete examples of what we've done. I think that'll help the whole staff really see how hard everybody's working in support of our goals. Tuan, could you tell me a little bit about what your team's going to be sharing for safety?
Yes. So when it comes to school safety, it's right up there or even more important than the instruction inside the classroom. So when it comes to our team here with our 2 CSAs and 4 rec aides, our conversation is how are we in service of the teachers outside of the classroom, whether it may be during passing period, before school, the 3 lunches. So that is the conversation that we are constantly looking at and addressing. And during the Summer Institute, students say school safety was a #1 priority, not just for the teachers, but also for the students. So with that, there has been lots of work around how do we support that. So with that thought in mind, thank you to Pilar for hiring another CSA. So now we have 2 CSAs and 4 rec aides. I don't need to go through what they do in the morning, during, and after school, but as a sort of a checklist for the teachers, this is what they're doing. We can even say to our students, hey, we are checking these restrooms, twice a period. So just through those conversational pieces, the team is constantly revisiting the work that we're doing and looking at the PDSA cycle. We've met a few times already. And through that, what's going well, what's not going well, and we're constantly making adjustments. So even with the U4 and the U6, U4 is all about the formative assessment. We're also collecting that formative assessment, whether to the pulse survey, through the core survey, our interactions with the teachers, and constantly making adjustments with that information. And with our rec aides and our CSAs, they're constantly building relationships with the students outside of the classroom, so that when we need to kind of push a little harder, we can do so. But overall, when it comes to school safety, it's about how do we support beyond the classroom so that the teachers feel comfortable handling the instruction when it's instructional time.
I like the idea. Can you tell me a little bit about what's happening with the focus on the 700 restrooms?
Gotcha. So, based on our last quote unquote formative assessment, the 700 restroom was a hot spot. So our last adjustment on December 6th was to move one of our rec aides from the during lunch from the blacktop area over to the 700 building, and we are going to open up those restrooms along with the ones in the cafeteria, but then shut the ones down at the locker room because supervision was limited there. Just with proximity, the 2 restrooms out there are far apart. So making that adjustment to better support and also minimize the activities that are happening out in the locker room area.
Okay. I also really like the idea that you guys came up with. I don't know if it was your idea or around supporting how Mr. Green's going to be supporting our African-American students.
It's been a nice, with each of the CSAs and rec aides, in addition to the formal team meetings, I touch base with the team members on a daily or weekly basis, and just through our natural conversations, supporting the work that they would like to do. So Mr. Green came to me and said, hey, Mr. Nguyen, what do you think about having a mentorship on campus? I'm like, that is phenomenal. So with that, we don't have any logistics built out, but just through that brainstorming process, we have sort of identified potentially either like a Monday, Tuesday, or even Thursday. We'll stay away from Wednesday since that's when we have ASB after school. But through Mr. Green wanting to put something together for the students, I'm going to support that autonomy, what it looks like logistically. You know, we can always have those continuous conversations to tighten up that piece, but you know, this whole mentorship came from Mr. Green, and with that, we're just going to take it and run with it. I think having that autonomy, he'll have that ownership and then build it the way he wants based on what he's hearing from the kids, what they would like and see, and he's going to build that program around that, along with, you know, looking at, I did mention with them, you know, also speak with Yumi in terms of, you know, the core survey, the pulse survey, driving that information to build your program around that.
Great. All right, nice job. All right, up next, Damaris, your team.
Yes, hi, good morning, everyone. So we've understand that teachers have a lot of concerns when it comes to attendance, because if a kid is not in classroom, obviously they're not gonna learn. So we've had a couple of meetings with our attendance clerk and with the counselor. We've run several reports. We've heard teachers about specific students, and we've compiled this report. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to start making so like the first step would be to probably contact the parent and see what's going on, if there's anything that the school can support them with. You know, can the kid come to school every day, stuff like that. Our next plan would be, if that doesn't work, unfortunately, we're going to have to start probably doing setting up SARP, the initial SARP meetings that happen here before it can escalate to going on to the next step. So we're hopeful that once we start with our parent calls and parent meetings, some of these attendance issues will change and improve. This is what we have so far, but we're definitely open to ideas, or if teacher has suggestions, we're definitely open to that.
Okay. Maybe linking Mr. Green with some of these attendance issues, at least for our African-American families.
Oh, that's actually a great idea. Yeah. I know that's something Mr. Winston, he likes doing that. So that would be another backup too, that Mr. Green could do that.
Okay. All right.
And
so
of course, Penny speaks Spanish, so she's reaching out to the Spanish-speaking families.
right, that's good. All right, Yumi. So I have all the slides for the content areas. How did it go with the department heads?
So we spoke, it's a lot of data to share within each department. There's a lot of data to share. So we were thinking that if we formed groups, and each group could have one representative from each department. And that way within the group, they'll be able to look through all the departments data and review what their goals are. And I think we were thinking that it would be a great way to create some ownership over the data, not just the department head, but every single member in the data taking ownership. Every single person in the department taking ownership over the data and those goals, and being responsible to share within their groups. So that's what we're gonna do. And so we've given them a heads up already to really make sure that they're prepared to share and to be able to contribute in the meetings this week. So hopefully, well.
Yeah, I like how you guys pulled out to specifically with our African-American students, since that's a huge equity lens. And I like the idea that having Greenwald, I know he isn't here to share with us today, but I know we'll get him ready to share some of the inclusion work that we're doing. I think that's going to be really awesome. And then we'll focus, of course, on where the gaps are.
Yep.